In caves across Europe, there are hundreds of handprints with missing fingers. They weren't accidents. They were choices. And the reason why might keep you up tonight. The Gargas cave in France. The Maltravieso cave in Spain. The Pech Merle cave. They all have one thing in common. Hand stencils. But not complete hands. The fingers are gone. Sometimes one. Sometimes several. Sometimes all of them. For over a century, archaeologists argued about what caused the missing fingers. Accidents? Frostbite? Disease? They were wrong. In 2018, a team of researchers from the University of Toulouse published a study that changed everything. They examined the handprints and found no signs of disease or trauma. The fingers were cut off deliberately. The cuts were clean, precise, and intentional. Men, women, children, all of them missing fingers. The oldest handprints date back 25,000 years. And the people who left them, they did this to themselves. On purpose. So why would anyone do that? The answer has three parts. Sacrifice, grief, punishment. For our ancestors, the body wasn't just a vessel. It was currency. Fingers weren't just body parts. They were tools. Giving one up meant giving up part of your ability to live. It was the ultimate offering. People would take a cutting tool and disarticulate the finger at the joint. The Gargas cave alone contains 231 handprints. 114 of them are missing fingers. The Maltravieso cave has 71 handprints. 61 of them are incomplete. Imagine the scene. A fire flickers. The group watches. One person steps forward. They place their hand on a stone. They raise a blade. And they cut. Then they press their bleeding hand against the cave wall. And leave it there, forever. That handprint wasn't art. It was a contract. Promise. A debt paid to something they couldn't see. In some cultures, cutting off a finger was a way to mourn the dead. In Papua New Guinea, the Dani people still practice this today. When a loved one dies, women cut off a segment of their finger. It's a physical expression of grief, a way to match the pain of the body to the pain of the soul. We think that many of these finger amputations were done as part of a mourning ritual. The Dani believe that cutting off a finger appeases the spirits of the dead. The pain is a message. In the caves of Europe, handprints with missing fingers are often found near depictions of death and burial. A mother loses a child. She doesn't just cry. She doesn't just mourn. She cuts off her own finger. Because words aren't enough. Because the grief is too big. Because she needs the world to see how much she loved. That's not madness. That's devotion. Cutting off fingers was also a form of punishment. Permanent mark of shame. In many cultures, the punishment fit the crime. If you stole with your hands, you lost your hands. If you broke a promise, you lost a finger. It was a way of ensuring that the person who committed the crime could never commit it again. The cuts on the bones are clean and precise. They were done by someone who knew exactly what they were doing. No trial. No appeal. Just a blade. And a permanent reminder. Imagine walking through your village with a missing finger. Everyone knows what you did. Every handshake, every gesture, every wave. It all tells the same story. I crossed the line. I paid the price. But there is a fourth explanation. They were about identity. In the ancient world, your body was your resume. Every scar told a story. Every missing finger told a different story. It marked you as part of a tribe, a clan, a family. It was a permanent tattoo, a mark of belonging, a way of saying, I am one of you. And once it was done, there was no going back. What makes this especially troubling is that the practice appears to have been global. In 2022, a study published in the journal Evolutionary Human Sciences analyzed 121 different societies. They found evidence of finger amputation in every single one. It was not a local custom. It was a human custom. Different societies in different parts of the world arrived at the same idea independently. So when did it start? The oldest evidence comes from the Gargas cave in France. In the pit of bones in Spain, archaeologists found a skull that was deliberately bashed in 430,000 years ago. The practice continued through the Neolithic period, the Bronze Age, and into historical times. It is still practiced today in some parts of the world. to appease the gods, to mourn the dead, to punish the guilty, to mark their tribe. It was not one reason. It was many, and it all comes back to one thing, meaning. For our ancestors, life was short, brutal, and uncertain. They needed to make it mean something. They needed to leave a mark, not just on the cave walls, but on their own bodies. Every missing finger was a story, a sacrifice, prayer, punishment, promise. And 25,000 years later, those stories are still with us. Not in the bones, not in the caves, but in the questions they left behind.